Hey up everybody, Betty's back yet again for another one. Right, okay, so obviously we have our pork belly joint. We have red wine vinegar, smoked paprika, some olive oil, salt and pepper, 2 red onions, 2 chilies, 4 bay leaves, 2 sprigs of rosemary, 4 garlic cloves, 1 medium to large sweet potato, and a whole thing of passata, 500 grams there. So let's get cracking. Okay, so I'm actually going to use my pestle and mortar for this. I've taken like the stalks out of the bay leaves into the pestle. Is it the pestle? Yeah, pestle. Pestle. And we need a good pinch of salt to go with this. So, quite a generous bit of salt in there. And all we're going to do, basically, grind this into some sort of paste. I mean, you could do it in the food processor, I suppose. But, yeah. So I'll crack on with this and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Didn't take that long, to be fair. Just a nice sort of powder. Right, so into that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. There we go. And 1 tablespoon of olive oil. One tablespoon. There we go. So we're just going to mix that up into a paste. So you're looking for, you can't really see that well. I'll tell you what, I'll bring the camera down. There we go. It's like a dark brown paste. So, move on to the next bit. Okay, 1 sharp knife. There's our pork. So basically, I'm going to try, the best way to do it is probably with a Stanley knife. Have it set with a gauge. But try not to go right through to the meat. Nice big slashes. Going one way, like so, all the way across your meat. Make sure you have a nice sharp knife. And then I'll do exactly the same, coming this way, into a crisscross fashion. As you can see, making some nice diagonals into the fat. There we go. That looks rather nice. So there's lots of little slits everywhere, as you can see. Just going to open those up a little bit more. There we go. Right, on to the next bit. Okay, so I'm going to be cooking this in the big cassoulet, the Grand Zone, the dual blaze one. So the sweet potatoes I've chopped up roughly chopped up the red onions, roughly sliced the chili, and the garlic I've sliced as thinly as I could, And I've just drizzled it with olive oil and put it at the bottom of the big tray. So, on to the next bit. So, we have our bait oil here, and we're going to work this into every little nook and cranny that we can of this pork belly joint. This may take a little time and it might get a little bit messy, but it is what it is. It is a necessary evil. Well, don't know about evil. It's a necessary step, shall we say. Just going to keep working this in, trying to get it into all the little nooks and crannies so it penetrates into the meat itself. Lovely. Make sure it sits nicely on the top there. All the bits and bots that are in there. Yep. That's looking good. It's looking very good. Just going to make sure I get every little bit of that onto there. Worked in. That will do nicely. Right, so let's get this baby into the oven. So there we go. Laid it on top of the veg. Into the kasori. So we're going to go Grand Zone, roast, 200 degrees, for 45 minutes, press play, and we're away. So yeah, that's 200 degrees, gas mark 6. Okay, so that's had 45 minutes. It is nowhere near crispy enough yet, so I've just removed that just for now, and our veg is in the bottom of the tray. So into that, I'm going to add the full packet of passata, and a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I should have got the lid off before I started doing the camera work, but there you go. That'll do. And I need now some water. 1 second. Just going to pour in about half a glass full of water into there. Right. Going to give this a little bit. Come on, shadow on there. Just going to give this a little bit of a mix up. There we go. That's that. And I'm going to put the meat back on top. 1 second. Okay, so that is back in. The meat's back on top. Back into the oven, or in this case the kasori. And zone. Roast. I'm going to knock the temperature down to 170, that's gas mark 3. And I'm going to do that for 1.5 hours. So 90 minutes. Gone well past there. What am I like? I had it there as well. There we go. Press play. See you in 1.5 hours. Nanosecond for use. Right, so there's only a few minutes left. So I'm going to just sprinkle some of this rosemary on. Not that it's going to stick on it or anything, but... Right, so there's about 6 or 7 minutes left on that. The rest of the stuff was starting to catch So I had to take it out, would have been in the air fryer, so I've had to take that out, put it in a pan, and I'm just warming that back up on the stove top. Okay, so I've just let that rest for a couple of minutes. Sounds nice and crunchy. Oh yeah. It's just breaking up there, look. Crackling's coming off. But, wowzers. There we go. Right, put them to that side. And I'll serve this up. And it's taste testing time. Right, taste testing time. I'm going to try some of the belly pork first. That's still nice and soft in the middle. I love belly pork. I'm just going to try some of the crackling. You can hear that, can't you? Yeah. That's really good. Apologies. I was going to say you can serve this with what you want. Get it with rice, chips. Use this as a dipping sauce. This has gone a bit dark and it did start to caramelise a little bit, so it doesn't taste bent, but it's nice and the actual, it's got a nice kick to it with the 2 chilies in there. Tastes lovely, but that doesn't look the best, but it tastes nice. And the pork is lovely. Pork's lovely and soft. Just going to have one more bite of this pork and I'm going to settle down. Just really tasty. Really, really tasty. So again, thank you everybody for watching, for liking, for sharing, subscribing, commenting, and all your lovely recipe ideas. As always, keep them all coming. We really, really appreciate it. So we will catch you guys very, very soon, and I'll bid you a farewell. See you later. Bye.